Hillary.
I'm Andrew, and this is Dexter.
Yeah, he loves kisses and he wants to get out of the van and run around and eat bad things. Anyways, we are on Instagram as @Dolly the Rambler. This is Dolly, our van, and we're going to give you a little bit of a tour. We are very novice at making videos, so cut us some slack there. Alright, thanks guys. This is our kitchen area. We went with a truck fridge. It provides tons of storage and it's an upright fridge, 12 volt. We also have this hidden drawer down here which contains our 1-burner camp stove for cooking. So we just get it out whenever we need to cook anything. We have this nice big countertop. Back here we have our spice rack. We can fit all our spices here and it's just kind of a convenient place to put them. We also have our louver windows that we can open up. These are C.R. Lawrence windows that we can open up and kind of get a nice flow through here while we're cooking. Our kitchen has 3 drawers and 2 overhead cabinets. The top drawer has our silverware, our plates, bowls, that sort of thing, and a few other knickknacks. And then our middle drawer is some of our bigger storage like our Vitamix, our pots and pans, and some additional food. This is the stuff that we access most often. And then this bottom drawer, which we keep latched with this deadbolt, is a step which we'll show you later into the bed, but it's also more of our longer term storage items. I call it our pantry drawer. And it has our Instant Pot, our additional screen for the sliding door, and a few other pantry items, a purse, just kind of things that we don't access very often or don't need on a daily basis. So in addition to these 3 drawers, we have these 2 overhead cabinets in our kitchen area. This one has our data center, which Andrew's going to talk to you about later. And then these are kind of our most used items. So every morning we make coffee and tea. Andrew drinks coffee, I drink tea. We have our vitamins, well, Hillary's vitamins, and salt and pepper. Again, these are our most commonly used items. We just use these bungees to keep them in from falling off. And then over here, in this overhead cabinet, we have some of our toiletry items. This is like when we need to go get a shower. So we don't use these every day. This is more once a week kind of thing, because that's how often we shower. And then this shelf contains all of the items that kind of found their way onto the counter. So it's all the little knickknacks, kind of little things, apples, books, brochures, toilet paper, tissue paper, all that sort of thing. So this is kind of our kitchen area on this side, and I'll show you our sink now. And this is our sink. We did our sink in the doorway so that we could use the faucet as potentially a shower outside, but also just because we wanted a nice continuous countertop on the other side, we did a sink on this side. So our sink has this nice cover in it. Thanks, Dexter. Has this nice cover in it so that when this is my bedside table when we're in bed mode, and so I can use this as a bedside table. Nothing is falling in the sink, and it's also just another countertop. So it just comes out nicely. Nice big deep sink. We got this at IKEA. And the butcher block that you see kind of on the other countertop and here and also on our table is all from a Home Depot or Lowe's, I can't remember which one, but a big piece of butcher block that we purchased, cut up, and treated with tung oil. Next we have this pop-out cabinet, or drawer, fake drawer, whatever it's called, and it just keeps our soap and things that we need for washing dishes. And then down here we have a bit of our storage, our trash can, our cleaning supplies, all of our water tanks, and some other items that we use for doing dishes, and also our boots. This is a new spot for them that we're trying out. We'll see if it works. We have 2 6-gallon tanks of water for our fresh water, and then 1 6-gallon tank for our gray water. We find this lasts us about a week. And then for our system, we just use this hose coming out of the fresh water into a SureFlow pump that then goes into a SureFlow accumulator, then through a 3M Filtrete water filter, and then into the sink, and we can get filtered water through our sink up top.
So this is our bedroom. It's a queen size bed currently being occupied by Dexter. We have tufted headboards at the head and foot of the bed that we made ourselves. We also installed cup holders on both sides of the bed. So Hillary has her cup holder here, so she can have a drink while she's in bed. And I have a cup holder over on the other side, and it's black. We can control our lighting from these two little pucks here, so they're magnetized, but we generally just leave them over here. So we have one for the front 4 puck lights and one for the back 3 puck lights. So the 4th puck light would have gone where the fan was, but the fan is centered. In addition to that, we also have storage in the bedroom area for our clothing. So I will show you Hillary's clothing drawer. 2 shelves, and she just puts all our clothing in there, and then my clothing is in the far drawer. And all of these overhead cabinets stay up by the use of these gas struts, which are 100 Newton gas struts. So now I will show you how we go from being in bedroom mode to being in dining mode. The bed is a little bit high, and we were worried about Dexter jumping off of the bed onto the floor, and it's a hardwood floor, so it's a little bit slippery, and we didn't want him to hurt himself. So we designed this bottom drawer so that it had a step built into it. We used 350-pound drawer slides in order to have enough support so that when we get on it, it doesn't break. And when we pull it out, we take this gate latch and we hook it into the opposite side. That keeps it firm in place. And so then when we want to convert it from bed mode into dining mode, first we have to get the dog out. Dexter, go to your place. Good boy. Then we close this back up. We hook the latch right here. We close it. Normally we lock it when we're in motion so that it does not come out. And then to convert it into dining room mode, it's quite simple. We just have to take off the pillows. And then we take the front mattress and we flip it over like this. And by flipping it over, we never have to remake the entire bed. We just flip it back over and the bed's already made. And then we slide the frame in like so. And usually it takes one more nudge on both sides to get all the way in. And then we put the pillows back on. Pat it down on that side. And now we have our dining room. And in the dining room, this table moves around because we have a Lagoon table mount. And that's how we design that. And this table here is just another piece of the butcher block that Hillary was showing you earlier.
So now I'm going to show you some of our storage. One of our biggest concerns when we were building the van was storage, but probably didn't need to be, but that's okay. So we made these benches to have storage in the back of the bench and in the bottom of the bench. So we have these lovely cushions that we had custom made, and they're beautiful and wonderful, but we just need to remove those, and I can show you some of the storage. So the top storage, this bench just opens up, and in here we have a few little exercise pieces of equipment and some, things to occupy our time. But here's one place that we have storage. And then the other place that we have storage is down here in the bottom. This particular bench seat contains our toilet and toiletries, DSLR camera, our toolbox, some additional cleaning supplies, that sort of thing. It's just some extra storage. And people often wonder how we go to the bathroom in the van. So one way is that we just lift up this seat, and you see I can just sit right here, no big deal, go to the bathroom, flush the toilet, close it back down, and we're all done. Or if the bed is in bed mode and it's night, I can take it out so that I can go right before bed or in the morning. So that's the storage that is on this side. And then on the other side, so we just move the table over and move these cushions. And this side, same thing, storage in the seat back and storage in the bottom. In the seat back here, we've got some board games, and then this is part of our electrical system, which Andrew will get to soon. But there's some, breathing room there for that. And then in the bottom here, we store a few books and a few other items, but mostly this side is all of our electrical stuff, which Andrew's going to get to now.
I'm going to talk about our van's electrical system. On the roof of the van, we have 4 100-watt solar panels from Grape Solar that are tied in series into a connector that passes through the van, comes down through the middle here, and then through this support column down into this area of the van, where the first place that they go is into the MPPT charge controller. The MPPT charge controller converts the signal from the solar panels into a clean signal that can be used to charge our battery. Next, I will show the battery. The battery is down here. We have a 200 amp hour AGM battery from Renogy. We chose AGM because it's a fully contained battery technology, so you have no off-gassing. We didn't go with lithium ion because it was a bit too expensive for what we wanted to spend. And then from the 200 amp hour battery, the signal comes out. We have a shunt here, which is used to monitor the battery level. And then we have a on-off switch for the battery, and then it comes to 2 bus bars, a positive and a negative bus bar. And then one of the items coming off of the bus bar is for a fuse box. This is our DC fuse box, and this is all of the 12 volt signals that we have throughout the van. So we have a driver garage outlet, a passenger side garage outlet, front and rear lights, under cabinet lights, a fan, fridge, the outlet by the sink, the outlet in the kitchen area, the water pump for the sink, and then the lighting in the garage. We did not talk about the fan earlier, so I'm just going to briefly show it. This is a MaxxAir Max fan. It can be used in multiple modes, so there's a button here to turn it on, and you can change it from blowing in to blowing out with this button here. You can also set it on auto mode, where it will only turn on if the temperature gets above 78 degrees Fahrenheit inside of the van. And then you can adjust the speed with these plus and minus buttons, and it can get pretty powerful. So I'll just turn it all the way up. And this is the max setting, which we barely use because we don't really need that level very often. So in addition to the 12 volt DC needs, we also have some items that we run off of 120 volt AC. In order to run 120 volt AC, you need to have an inverter which converts a 12 volt DC signal into a 120 volt alternating current signal, or AC signal. We went with an Ames Power 2000 watt pure sine wave inverter. You want to get the pure sine wave over the simulated sine wave because that's better for the overall health of your electronics. We went with 2000 watt because a couple of the items that we're using in here have a pretty heavy watt rating. One of those being the Instant Pot, which I think is about 1.4 kilowatts, and then the Vitamix, which I think is 1.5 or 1.6 kilowatts, something along those lines. So the AC signal comes out of the backside of the inverter. It goes up through the central column, and then we have our 2 AC outlets right here. So the solar is really great when you have a sunny day, but we don't always have sunny days, so sometimes we need to charge in some other manner than through solar energy. In order to accomplish this, we installed a smart isolator. That is this little device down here. And this is connected to the van's battery. So we call this the house battery, and we call the battery for the van battery. And what the smart isolator does is when you are running the van and the alternator is producing current, it will charge both the van's battery and the house battery. But when the van is turned off, this circuit is closed so that you don't accidentally drain down your van battery by running all of the stuff that you have back in the house area. And this is actually a dual smart battery isolator. So if we are sitting in a campsite somewhere with a lot of sunshine, it will charge both the house battery and the van battery so that we can keep our van battery topped up if we're sitting in a campsite for a while. In addition to this system, we also want to be able to monitor the state of various things within our electrical system so that we can keep track of it and make sure that we have a good charge and that we're receiving solar energy. In order to do this, we have an area of the van that we refer to as our data center. So we have two monitors up here. The left one is the monitor for the MPPT charge controller. You can see at the top that we're reading a voltage of 73 volts. That's because we have 4 panels in series. We're currently getting a current of 0.9 amps. That's because it's pretty late in the evening and the sun is mostly down. And we're getting a power of 65.7 watts out of a max theoretical power of 400 watts. So again, it's pretty late in the evening, so we're not getting too much, but we're still getting some. Then on the right here, this is a Victron Energy BM712 smart battery monitor, and this basically allows us to determine how full our battery is. We can cycle through various screens if we want to see other information. This tells us how many hours are left based on our current charge level and how much watts we're currently using in the van. This tells us the voltage of the battery. This is an auxiliary battery, which we didn't hook that up. And this is the amount of amps that we're currently drawing. These are the watts that we're drawing. This is how many amp hours we've used today. And that's, again, back to the overall charge level.
Now we're going to talk about kind of the cabin, the front of the van a little bit. This is highly Dexter motivated area, and we're also going to feed Dexter dinner because he's starving, if you haven't heard him whining and scratching in the video. Sorry about that. Sorry, bud, it's past your dinner time. So go to your place. Go to your place. Go to your place. Sit down. Hip. He started to think that his place is in one of the chairs. It's not. It's in this little nice foam area that we created, and it is just covered in 2 pillowcases and that blanket just to try to keep it a little bit clean. When we lived in a house and not in a van, we used to make Dexter wait up to 45 minutes for his dinner. Our rules or our, I guess training has slackened a little bit. So now we basically just make him do that, and then we say, free, and I'm gonna move him to the back of the van so he's not in the way, but he's enjoying dinner. All right, so like I said, this is a very Dexter motivated area, but there's some other good things in here too. So this is Dexter's place or his bed. This is where he rides when we are driving. We also, you'll notice he is wearing a harness all the time. We buckle him in while we're driving just because, if we get into an accident, we don't want him to be flying through the windshield, just like we don't want us to be flying through the windshield. So we've got that there. Under here, we call this Dexter's stoop. Right now it is restrained by these lovely items, so I'm just going to take those off. So one is a lantern for when we're camping outside, and we have some firewood because we're going to have a campfire soon. But anyways, so under here is all of Dexter's items. So we've got his bowls, his medicine, his backpack, because, if we go backpacking with him, he has his own backpack, because, got to carry your own water and food. We're not carrying that for him. So again, this is Dexter's stoop. We keep, an antler out here for him all the time, that sort of thing. And this is his bed. So what else do we have going on here? So here is kind of our seat back. This is how we keep clean in between that once in a week shower. We've got baby wipes, we've got other, deodorant, it's important. Our toothbrushes are in here. We go and we wash Andrew's hair in the sink sometimes. All that stuff is right here. And then next up is kind of storage for our window coverings. For our side window, we just use a piece of Reflectix. I can never think of the name of that. We just use a piece of Reflectix. For our front windows, we have WeatherTech window coverings that are specifically made for ProMaster. They work great and they fit perfectly. And then on the back, we have some great van-made gear window coverings. But we also use this space to store our yoga mats. There's one underneath Dexter's stoop. And then the front cabin is pretty much your standard front cabin. We kind of put stuff that we use while we're driving up there. And water bottles, in the ProMaster, I think at one point I was like, there's 5, cup holders and none of them are really all that great. Well, we use all those cup holders and more to hold all of our water bottles, and Dexter's water bowl, it always rides right there. It spills everywhere sometimes, but that's okay. And then next up is just to mention a little bit more storage areas. So these were already built into the ProMaster. Up here in the cabin, we just have mostly our winter gear, like gloves and scarves and hats and things like that. And then up in this other area that again was already built in from ProMaster is some of our backpacking gear, like our sleeping bags. It's what we use if it's really cold and we need warmth because we don't have a heater in the van. And then just some other storage, our rain jackets, that sort of thing. And last but not least, I just wanted to mention a couple of other things. So we do have the WeatherTech items in the front, but we also use this curtain as a shield to the temperature change between the cabin and the back because it's quite different, but also as a light barrier. And my sister helped me sew these. They were just blackout curtains and we sewed them to fit and added this Velcro on it, and we just used the Velcro and Velcro it across. And it is a pretty good light barrier and also temperature barrier. So that's one item. And then a couple other things to show you is we also have a bug curtain that we can put on. The Velcro is around here if we're in a buggy area. We have an extra seat right here, which is a yoga trapeze by Yoga Body. So I actually get inverted in this as well, which maybe we'll show you that at another time, or you can check out our Instagram for that. But we can use this as an additional seat when we're in the van, and when the door's closed, it's way better when the door's open. But anyways, you get the idea. And we have lots of hooks up here that we use for drying things or storage. And then this is where we track all of our travels. So we started out in Charlotte, where we sold our house, and we're from Georgia, so we hung out there for a bit. And then we've made all of this way in the 2 months or so, 2.5 months that we've been on the road. And we collect little postcards here and there. And that's where we put all of our travel information, just a nice way to decorate the inside of the van and share some memories.
This is the garage area of our van. On the doors we installed shoe racks so that we could hold most of our shoes. And on the windows we also have these covers which were made by Van Made Gear. They're magnetic, so it's very easy to open and close them. So we put these up when we want to have a little bit of privacy, but if we want to see out the back, we just close them, and then there's a snap that we put at the bottom. This is a mosquito screen that we installed so that we could have the back doors open at a campsite and not have to worry about bugs. If you pull this aside, we have our bike storage tray, and we also have our dirty clothes. So before we pull the bikes out, we take the dirty clothes and we throw them up into the bed area. And then we have 4 bikes in here which are on a tray that slides out. We have to push the mosquitoes curtain out of the way. So we put all four of our bikes in here, 2 mountain bikes and 2 road bikes, because we couldn't decide and we wanted to be able to do both. So this is my bike, and then Hillary's mountain bike, and then my road bike, and then Hillary's road bike. These are on 500-pound lock-in, lock-out drawer slides. The lock-in and lock-out is pretty key because we park on a lot of uneven terrain, and having the ability to lock it out so that we're not having to hold it out is pretty clutch. And this goes back in by just pushing on these 2 little handles here, and then pushing in. You have to get the mosquito netting out of the way. And then it just goes like that. So in addition to the bikes, we have these mesh cargo nets on the side. So over here we have a backpack, helmet, and then we have additional storage down here. Like this is where we keep our vacuum cleaner when we want to clean up the van. And then on the other side we have another cargo net, and we have tent, sleeping pad, my helmet, and then below that we have a 12-volt air compressor, a heater, which we've never used because we haven't needed it, and then a bunch of bungee cords. In addition, I have a little hutch here where I can keep things like wallet, cell phone, keys, and I have my current book in there as well. And then I can charge my phone back here, and then this is my cup holder. In addition, we also have a light in the back so that we can light up the garage. That's on this little button here, and it's a strip light in the back. And that's pretty much it on the van, garage area of the van.
Thank you guys so much for watching our van tour. We are here at the Grand Canyon, and we're just waiting on a permit to hike down to the bottom and camp down at Bright Angel. So again, thanks guys. Bye.